Hello, light switch. What you knowin'? I come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't got rhymes for me. Didn't do feeling gloomy. Ba-da-dee-doo-doo-doo. Overpriced headband. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're doing a Tepid Takes. We haven't done a Tepid Takes on new releases in a really long time. New beauty. I just watched one of Hannah Louise Poston, by the way. I realize when I say Hannah and just refer to her that way, people are like, Hannah who sometimes, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? She does some really good hot takes and pretty much talks herself out of purchasing new things. You guys know I am a lot more trigger happy when it comes to buying new releases because I like to have an it's exciting and encyclopedic collection of beauty so that I can compare swatches and tell you guys like what works and what doesn't. So that is the overall concept. If you're new to my channel, that's kind of what I do. But every once in a while I like to peruse the new releases and let you guys know my thoughts on them first impressions wise, like of the actual release, of the idea of the release. And I call them Tepid Takes because I can make no promises as to the actual temperature of them. They might be lukewarm and it's just my opinion. So yeah, I went on my Instagram and I asked you guys which products like definitely you wanted my opinion on, you know, off the bat. And then I will also peruse the new releases websites, you know, looking at like Trendmood 1 on Instagram, also looking at like, you know, the new section on Sephora or Ulta or what have you. So let's go ahead and jump in. This is a commission that I'm working on currently. I'm personally obsessed with it. It's giving me life, and it is 4 feet by 5 feet. It's massive, and in order to make the shipping like worth it, I ordered 3. So if you're in the market for a gigantic painting from me, just let me know. DM me over on my art Instagram. It's Kackie Carmody if you're interested in like a really big piece of art. And I moved my shelf that's usually behind me over against the wall so that I could get the necessary distance from the piece while I was working on it, because it's usually over there. I need to be able to step back from it, so it might just stay like this. I gave it a couple of hours on Instagram to let you guys respond. So let's see. Carrie Canary says, I feel like the fact I had to search for new stuff is telling. It means that we're just not excited. And I think that that's kind of the reason that I tend to do these videos, like when I feel inspired to do them. It's because I'm feeling uninspired by new releases and I'm just like, okay, well, like maybe we just talk about how they're making me feel. Oh, okay. So Sherb NYC says Westman powder. Yeah, this keeps crossing the threshold of my awareness through social media. First and foremost, this is 75 smackers. That's not unusual for Westman Atelier, and I'm sure she rationalizes it in her description of the product, but I bet you it is the size of the highlighter, which is like meow, and it'll be in that really heavy compact, which also to some people helps to rationalize that crazy price tag, but it is nonetheless a powder. So it comes in 5 shades for skin tone values, as well as a translucent and a pink for brightening. What it is, a weightless, talc-free, clean setting powder packed with protective skin refining actives that provides an immediate diffused look and healthier looking skin over time. The things that are bubbling up in me are, be cynical, say no, find reasons to not want this. And then as I'm reading that, I'm like, but that sounds fascinating. You know, does it have actives in it? Really? So quinoa seed extract minimizes the look of pores and retexturizes the look of skin. I'm hoping they mean temporarily. Vitamin C neutralizes free radicals, visibly evens tone and supports natural collagen. They had me at probiotic. Enhances skin's natural defense mechanisms. You guys know probiotics are my kryptonite in terms of like not buying something. I mean, I love and pay more for my Tula sunscreen because it's got probiotics in it. All my Osea stuff has like the seaweed probiotics in it. I do love a probiotic. This is a micro-milled antioxidant veil that sets without diminishing radiance. This powder quickly smooths pores, visibly evens skin tone, and sweeps away shine while protecting from environmental stressors. Over time, pressed-in actives do more, working to absorb sebum and visibly refine texture. Here's the thing, right? Unless I can prove to you that the probiotics and the actives in this are showing true results, I had a lot of trouble kind of crossing the distance of like, okay, I like it, and therefore I'm going to recommend that you part with 75 of your hard-earned USD for it. Like, that's hard for me. And also, this piece of hair, it's raining, you can probably hear it, but that piece of hair is like aggressively trying to leave the bunch. The other thing is, I think about whether I will 6 months down the line feel remorse that I didn't buy it. Probs not. You know? So there's your tepid take on the Westman Atelier powder. I'm going to give it a not right now. Because it's just not that exciting to me. Westman Atelier does some really beautiful things, but like, I have some really beautiful setting powders, and honestly, it would really take a lot for me to come apart from my gorgeous, gorgeous Kosas that honestly, I'm getting a lot of satisfaction from trying to pan. You know? Setting powders are so underwhelming anyway. I feel like Westman Atelier has done their due diligence in making it something that is maybe possibly to the Westman Atelier consumer in line with what you would be accustomed to getting from them with the actives and all the promises and everything, but only if you are someone who like only wants Westman Atelier as your entire makeup routine. Which I feel like that's what they're trying to do, is kind of solve your makeup routine and have it be very minimalist. And I am not a minimalist when it comes to my makeup collection. And so it would just be one among a menagerie of other powders. And I just don't see myself getting excited about it, you know, or it making that big of a difference. So I'm gonna give it a not right now. Wayne Goss Smoky Quartz Palette. I did watch his video on this, and it is a cool toned version of his you know, format of palettes, which is a 6-pan palette, and it has, I want to say, 4 mattes, 1 shimmer, and 1 celestial in it. And even for being cool toned, it is, I feel like, a wearable set of cool tones. It's not crazy silver gray. He did put one out that was like that was in all of these very like pewter silver tones with an electric blue in it, and that didn't appeal to me at all. Like, I have a lot of trouble wearing that on my skin. Blue looks, I think I look good in blue, but blue fights my actual undertones if I layer it. You know what I mean? It makes my eyes kind of glow red and it makes my skin look really dead, and it makes my eyes look really small. It's not impossible, but it's definitely a lot of work and not really worth it. That's not what you asked. You asked about the Smoky Quartz palette. It's tempting, but to me, it doesn't look different enough from the tourmaline palette. To me, I get that they're different, but it's not different enough where I think, because those are both kind of those tones that tend to pull a little bit brown on my skin. And I feel like that's pretty much what that one would do too. And even if it doesn't, I also have the Pearl palette, which is one of my favorite palettes of all time. And I feel like I can accomplish the Smoky Quartz palette with Pearl and with tourmaline. If you've been kind of quibbling between the two of those and wishing that there were a little bit more cool tones, I would say Smoky Quartz might be right up your alley. In fact, if that's the case, you've probably already bought it because it's a rare colorway. It's a rare palette that's just built like that, and I think that it does deserve to exist. It just doesn't really have a place in my personal routine, and I don't think a review on it would be surprising, you know? It just is a very beautiful colorway. Trippin' Smooth Powder and Kosas Hot Liner. So I already have the Kosas Hot Liner. They sent me all of them. So I am debating how to include that in a video because oddly, the Hot Liner is not a lip liner that like is super creamy. It's actually really grippy. It has kind of like a, I don't know, what would you say? Almost like an eyeliner vibe to it. It feels long wearing and waterproof a little bit. And so doing a swatch video of it like on my lips would be very difficult because removing it would make my lips turn red. And so it would distort every swatch after that. I have to be very, very gentle when I am like removing swatches and stuff, because if like the color of my lips changes on something that is, you know, either contrasting or like sheer on top of it, then it's going to distort the appearance of it and the swatch video is kind of useless. But I do have my favorites and my unfavorites and things like that just based on like what colors I like to wear, and I will probably just include that in like a, you know, a future, soon future, get ready with me. But Oma Trippin' Smooth Powder, let's see. Oh, this is the one with such a cool package. I'm like confused by it. It has this well in the middle. Secure the blur with this finely milled weightless powder. Create a soft focus matte finish that smooths and blurs your complexion. So if there is one thing that I have noticed, and this is a gross generalization, but it is still something that I've noticed, is that many Black-owned brands do tend to focus more on combination and oily skin. I'm not saying Black people cannot possibly have dry skin on their faces. I'm just saying that that tends to be more of the focus of Black-owned brands. The prioritization of mattification and balance of an oily complexion and longer wear time in that context. That tends to make me a bad person to review it, and the results are not, it's kind of like me reviewing a powder foundation. It's just not meant for me. In most cases. I know that there are powder foundations that are very hydrating, but like in most cases, like a swipe on kind of powder foundation, I'm a bad reviewer for that because it's not meant for my skin type. And so it is going to be like automatically set up, like the deck is stacked against it. And I feel like that might be the case with something that is supposed to provide kind of like all day mattification. That's not my vibe. And for me, it like makes my skin look older. It makes my makeup kind of break up and wear poorly and stuff. I'm always working for moisture, and yeah, so probably not on that, just because I think that like I would automatically be predisposed for it not to look very good on me, and I would be predisposed to not really like it. So it's also kind of wasteful in that sense if I kind of already know that I'm not gonna like it. Mario Cream Bronzer in the Pan. I already reviewed this, so definitely check that video out. Issa Maya Beauty. Oh, okay. So this was on Hannah's video, and she said that people had been asking her more vocally. Like, this is the first I have heard someone actually ask me if I was going to review it, and she apparently is getting a lot of requests for it, and so I saw this on her hot takes video. I will say it kind of looks like Byredo to me, which is a vote of confidence. That if anything, I would do the eyeshadow palette because it is such a unique color story, and I get that the packaging is a little bit literal. You know, Hannah kind of went off on the packaging, and I get it. I mean, it's literally like nipple piercings or nose piercings, or you know what I mean? Like a body piercing on the packaging itself. And that's a choice. That's a decision that she made. But as far as the actual performance of the product, I think that the only thing that I'd be really interested in is that eyeshadow palette, and I think it's pretty stinking expensive, isn't it? The pigment palette is 95 euros. So yeah, we are still talking kind of Byredo, not euros, 95 pounds. Sorry guys. And depending on exchange rates, that is kind of, you know, right in line with a Byredo price point. So if you guys are interested in it, absolutely, because I am very drawn to some of the shades in there, like that electric lime color. And I want it to have that same unctuous velveteen kind of feeling that you get from the Byredo shimmery shadows. And if that's the case, sign me up. I always say I'm willing to pay for a luxury experience if I'm getting a luxury experience. And while the packaging decisions don't necessarily resonate with me, I do really, really dig the color story. New reinvented Gaga line. Okay. Gaga's line at Sephora has been, I feel like they're kind of treating everything as new releases, and then they're coming out like rapid fire at Sephora. It's like new. And I'm like, I wish you would have just like rolled it all out like at one time so I could see everything you were planning to do. Because one of the main things that I notice is the absence of a real dedicated blush product. There is like a cheek pigment, And it only comes in, I think, 3 shades, which are pretty underwhelming. And the way that Hannah talks about buying clothes and imagining you laundering them and imagining how they're going to look in 6 months or something like that, I'm imagining applying Gaga's bronzer or her highlighter and then just like setting it aside and never really thinking about it again. I'm waiting for something really, really special to come out there, especially some cool colors that I haven't seen before of like blushes, you know, something that's going to give me Gaga energy. And so far I just haven't seen it. Old Green Eyes Emma, she asked about Issa Maya Beauty, but she also asked about the ABH palette. I don't tend to, I feel like it's such a slippery slope when we talk about like the politics of brand owners, because there's so much we don't know and we tend to kind of glom onto anything we find out, and I don't really feel like that's like an even playing field. I was like, I don't even know what the owner of L'Oreal looks like, you know? And so it's, there's so much we don't know because they don't make it public kind of thing. But I heard rumblings about ABH being problematic recently, and I decided to just look it up because I just wanted to know. And apparently she is giving money to the like people who are funding the war in Russia or something like that. I'm not really sure. So I have just kind of gotten rumblings of like that problematicness. You guys let me know like what you know about that, or if that's just kind of like more assumptive, is that a word? Did I just make that word up? Kind of hearsay sort of thing, because it is a very appealing color story. But in the past I have tried, this is completely performance based, ABH palettes, and I don't love that formula. It's so blendable that it really blends away. It's tough to control, and I've had 2 or 3 of her palettes. But yeah, let me know, because I'm also not including the ABH cream bronzer in my bronzer roundup because of those reasons, because I'm like, do I want to give my money to that brand? You know? So let me know about that, how y'all feel. Fenty lip stain. I am in the same camp as Hannah on lip stains. Just the way that they kind of always tend to be the hot pink version of whatever color that they are. I also don't like a high impact lip on me, because it's tough to control, and a lip stain specifically is extremely tough to control. It stamps, it doesn't blend, and it's like really, really high stakes. So no on that. One Ragazza 11 says Rose Ink Solar Radiance Cream Highlighter. I have the Rose Ink bronzer. I was not planning on getting the highlighter just because I'm not much of a highlighter gal. I'm not wearing highlighter today. It's just not something that I do. And even if I do, a cream highlighter is just not, it's, you know what I mean? It's, again, it's something that I'm kind of predisposed to not really care for. And so I would probably give it a pretty underwhelming review. So no. Chanel Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I am not familiar with this. A first of its kind versatile makeup product infused with ultra concentrated micro droplet pigments, which we have seen in the Water Fresh tint. This is the Water Fresh Complexion Touch. Is this the same as the Water Fresh tint? Conceal specific areas or apply all over for a flawless, incredibly natural looking finish. Okay, it looks like it is a lot more coverage, like it's like a real foundation. Yeah, I didn't know that this existed, and I would absolutely try it. I was just doing my inserts for my bronzer video yesterday, and I put on some of the Chanel bronzers, like the dark one and a light one on each side, and I was like, I know I complain about fragrances, but I love the Chanel smell. It's like one of the only fragrances that I actually enjoy. And so I'm always excited to try a new Chanel product, and a new Chanel complexion product is very exciting. I just want to see one thing, and that is whether it's got sunscreen in it. Zabba-dee-zoo, jabba-jabba-joo, apparently not. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, I would love to try that, especially since I know what shade I am now. I'm a B10 now. I think I got something much lighter when I got the Water Fresh tint the first time, so maybe I'll use that as an excuse to get the Water Fresh blush too. A refreshed Chanel video. Chanel earns my money, okay? Like, I don't always love their colors. Those cream stick blushes, those are really underwhelming too. But most of the time, especially with their complexion products, I feel like they do a lot more than like Tom Ford does to earn my money, you know? The Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I already have it in 2 shades, so yes. Okay, the Pat McGrath mini eyeshadow palette. I need to take another look at this because my immediate answer was meh. Dance far away, now clap your hands to the letter of the day, clap, clap. Looking at this, it is the mini eyeshadow palette Midnight Voyage. It's $29. I can blindly recommend this because I know what her formulas feel like. I'm a reviews channel at the end of the day, and it comes down to whether or not I think something is good, right? Fun, easy to use. And unless this takes some kind of massive and wild, unexpected departure from her typical formulations, it's probably lovely. I don't need to touch it to know that. It doesn't look like it has any of her kind of iconic celestials in it, you know, these like wild, crispy glitters like the Utopian Dream palette. And so, you know, if that's what you're looking for, save your $29, wait for a sale, and, you know, sock away a little bit more money and get one that you really, really like. But if this thrills you, I guarantee you it's going to perform beautifully and wear a long time. So I don't need to own it to tell you that. Okay, oh, we're departing. I haven't broken that headband in yet, so, oh, we're taking a minute without it for my head to breathe and throb. And then the only other thing that someone asked me about was the Kim Kardashian Skin by Kim. I'm going to give you the honest to butthole answer here, and that is, as an influencer, as someone who has been in this space now for going on 5 years, I get a lot of skincare PR from brands that I really admire. I get PR from SkinCeuticals sometimes. I get PR from Herbivore that changes my life all the time on a regular basis. I get skincare from, oh my gosh, Naturium reached out to me yesterday and I was like, ding, ding, ding. Yes, I definitely want to be an authority on that. Iconolab, like I've been partnering with Iconolab for probably almost the whole 4.5 years. So like I get so much beautiful skincare that I tend to kind of wonder what to do with it all. The idea of taking my USD and parting with them to give Kim Kardashian my money to try her skincare line is so low on my list of priorities. I would rather pay Herbivore the price of the product that they send me in PR than give that money to Kim Kardashian. Not that I hate Kim Kardashian, I just don't care about her skincare line. She is not using skincare. This is the same thing I went off on, the same thing Caroline Hirons went off on when Kylie put out her skincare line, and this might be a slightly warm take. It's not necessarily even a warm take in terms of originality, it's just a warm take in the terms of the fact that I'm getting a little heated. But it's like, that's a person who spends so much money maintaining their skin with professionals. Getting peels and resurfacing and Botox and fillers and plastic surgery and retouching her photos even. Yeah, even, I know, far-fetched as that is. I don't trust the results that I see in a skincare ad from Kim Kardashian, and I also, like, I know that regardless, it's just at the end of the day going to be probably at best very good skincare, but I already have a lot of really, really good skincare. Like, phenomenal skincare that I love very much, so no. Dance far away, now clap your hands to the letter of the day, clap, clap. All right, so that was it for the questions from you guys. Thank you so much for telling me what you wanted me to prioritize. Let's take a look at Trendmood. I'm only going to comment on things that actually like gave me a feel, because mostly these don't make me feel anything. It's interesting because like when I do videos like this, I do have to kind of tap a little bit more into my cynical side of just like, oh, another makeup release, you know? But truth be told, like when I met Hannah in the city last weekend, we were talking about it and I said, it was like, I love my job. I still get excited about the makeup. And she's like, me too. Like, that's what's so cool about it, is that when you see new things, new textures, new colors, and even just seeing them online, but also getting them in your hands, I still wake up excited to play with makeup, and not just new makeup. Like, I still get excited to play with like my, you know, McGrath palettes and stuff like that. And not even just to create new things all the time. Just feeling unlimited in that sense is just a really, really wonderful feeling. And I do still get excited about like just, you know, testing the boundaries of like what I can achieve with different beauty products. I think that's a lot of fun, and I think it really speaks to, you know, being in the right line of work, because it is a medium that I still get thrilled about all the time. And then I gave Hannah this palette, the Nars Summer Unrated palette, when I met her, and just watching her open it and stare at it and dip her fingers in it and obsess over it, it was just such like a palpable energy of just being like, yeah, we do really, really like love beautiful things, and those things still resonate with us. I'm not really cynical about the actual makeup. I'm just cynical about, you know, the churn of releases and things like that sometimes, because I do feel like a lot of times they sort of disrespect our attention span. Oh, here's something that I'll just straight up anti-haul. I have not heard a good thing about REM Beauty from Ariana Grande. I watched Kelly Gooch, who is a huge Ariana fan, review her products and try with her sweet, sweet heart to say nice things about it. And she was just having a hard time. It was such a sincere hard time, you know, because the products just aren't very good, you know. And I think I watched Amanda try some and they're not very good. Naomi John she tried all the celebrity beauty brands. It's like a 2-hour video or something. It's wild. But she was very, very unimpressed with that one. But like, she couldn't find a bad thing to say about Face Beauty by Halsey. So, you know, not all celebrity brands are just like ill-conceived, half-baked, you know, poorly executed cash grabs, but she does probably frustrate other celebrities trying to make beauty brands, because they're like, really? Really? It's like, you know, when people watch old videos by Jaclyn Hill where she's obviously obsessing about something that's not that great, and influencers are like, can you not do that? It really makes us look bad when you're just shilling. So anyway, oh boy. Okay, so Rhode by Hailey Bieber. I'm about to talk about basically the controversy that I originally saw posted on Estee Laundry about the original Rhode, as in at Shop Rhode, on like Instagram, you know, just like a pre-existing brand, versus Hailey Bieber's Rhode skincare brand, not realizing that I'm wearing a Rhode sweater. I don't know, I just thought it was funny. I was like, wait a second, because it's from Rent the Runway. And so I didn't check the brand. I just was like, that's a neat sweater. It's like, I don't own it, but I just thought it was really funny. Anyway. Rhode itself is a fashion brand, right? And they've built their brand over many, many years. And apparently 2 years ago, Hailey Bieber's team reached out to Rhode, the fashion label, and asked if they would change their name and sell it to her, and they said no, and she went ahead and did it anyway, because she apparently has no consciousness of not getting her way. And so yeah, I'm not gonna spend my money on, for all the reasons that I enumerated earlier about the Kim Kardashian line, you know, those still apply here as far as her skincare line, but also it just puts a bad taste in my mouth. It's just a tacky thing to do. I have absolutely no allegiance to the pre-existing brand Rhode, but at the same time, I need to know that I live in a world where like people like that can't just like unilaterally steamroll and do whatever they want all the time. Okay, so I'm using my platform to bring awareness to that. Ooh, what is that? That's why new makeup releases excite me. Holy macaroni, I need that. The new light reflecting prismatic powder from Nars. Yes. See, this is why I'm not spending $75 on a Westman Atelier powder, because this exists. What? This looks like a painting. It's beautiful. I want to touch it and then put it on my face. It looks brightening. It looks like the meteorites from Guerlain, except not shimmery. You know this is good. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to be, see, I think it might be ashy for deep skin. So I would like to see, oh, okay. It's available in Asia. So I do not actually know the skin tone distribution in Asia. I know that there are people with dark skin. I do know that. And so it's not entirely like, you know, just across the board amnesty on releasing something like this in Asia. They should still have more than one shade because that is light. But I do understand that, like, the market itself concentrates mostly on light skin tones. I don't know, guys. It's just what I'm used to seeing. That doesn't mean it's right. So I guess in the context of what I'm used to, it makes sense, but I don't endorse it. I wish that they would put out more than one shade in that, because that looks like it's going to be a chalky mess on anybody darker than me. Charli D'Amelio put out a fragrance because a fragrance is the new influencer book. Let's be real. I'm putting it back on because I love it. I love this thing. I love it. I think that that's pretty much it. We're getting back to things that I own. And now I'm just gonna take a look real quick at new releases on the Sephora website. It's kind of funny. I don't even look at Give Beauty from Gwen Stefani. Like, I literally, like, my brain just like glazes past it. It's like, no, I have no intention of buying anything from that. It's not that I don't like Gwen Stefani. I feel absolutely no feelings about Gwen Stefani. None. Oh my gosh. I just feel the need to say this. Cali Ray, this brand, right? They came out with a tubing mascara first, and that is how they got my attention. Was I was like, okay, I'm listening. New brand who starts with a tubing mascara. Okay. And it was a fine tubing mascara. It was not Thrive. Thrive it was not, but it was okay. And then they put out a lip gloss, which was a lip gloss. They put out a foundation that was, or like a skin tint that came in so few shades, even basic white girl me didn't have a shade in it. And then they come out with this stuff called Just Add Ray's Universal Translucent Glow Booster Drops. Can we just say, there needs to be a siren, some kind of, you know, like emergency alert system when brands decide they're going to put universal in the title of something, okay? It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a universal anything unless it's clear, okay? And so these universal translucent glow booster drops, first of all, I would say, Simon, what color is that? Oh, is for orange. There are very few people who can, you know, wear that as their tan shade to begin with. But then there are these pictures of people wearing them, wearing the drops, that is, and I will just put it on the screen because I feel like this man in the bottom left is laughing because he knows he looks silly. That is such an unnatural color. They have wiped it on the cheek of the black girl to show that, you know, it can be a highlighter or whatever, but her natural skin is much prettier than that. That doesn't enhance squat. It says mixed with a skin tint, even that girl looks orange. On the body, that girl looks orange. On top of skincare, that dude, it looks orange. They all look like Oompa Loompas, okay? Honestly, it's one of those self-owns. Like when Bobbi Brown put the swatches out of this concealer right here, and like they put it on the black girl's arm and they all glowed like neon white. It's like, guys, look at your life, look at your choices, okay? That was a choice, and this is a choice. And I feel like it's a cell phone. When you look at it, you're like, well, you've told me exactly how it's going to look, so no. Refi has put out a skin finish water-based loose setting powder. While I'm not like super into loose powders at the moment, it sounds interesting. I don't know why I'm so optimistic about Refi's releases. Oh, I guess it's because I really like her brow products. I loved her brow pencil, and I liked the brow powder, and I liked the brow mousse. Even though it was kind of a little gummy, it was still the first thing that I had used that had that much hold and I could get that much control with. But her bronzers were way too orange. Her blushes were way too precious and nothing to write home about. And her lip products were straight up weird. So I'm kind of in this like limbo with Refi about like, okay, do I trust your ability to translate your personal aesthetic, which I think is very, very cool. I think what she does is very cool. It's like extreme, like polar minimalism. Like she's like, the things that I'm going to enhance on my face, I'm going to enhance them like in a really exaggerated way, but I'm going to make very, very specific choices about what I'm going to enhance, and the rest is just going to be this glossy, dewy, like negative space. And I really, really dig that about her whole vibe. But at the same time, I just don't know if she and her team do a very good job of translating that aesthetic to cosmetics. The brow products, absolutely, but the rest of it has been real weird. Why do brands put sunscreens in anything? All it does is make it so that some people can't wear it, or that you can't sell it overseas because everybody, all the different continents and countries have different SPF laws. Why do they do it? Can someone clue me in on that? Because there is no makeup with sunscreen in it that you could wear alone without putting another sunscreen with it, because you're not going to wear enough makeup for it to actually provide sun protection. And then there's like, you know, this Halo Glow from Smashbox, which I would love to wear. The Halo Glow Tinted Moisturizer. I have the regular Halo Glow, the serum, but it's got octinoxate in it. 6.7% octinoxate. So it's like, you know, not only is that illegal in Hawaii, but I don't know, it cancels out my ability to even try it. I feel personally victimized. Blah, 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 blah. Overall, I have mentally spent money on that Nars powder, if it's even available in the United States, and the Chanel Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I think that those are the only things that I conditionally plan on purchasing out of all of these things. Someone did come in the last few minutes and say Make Beauty eyeliners. I'm not really sure about the eyeliners specifically, but I have been looking at Make Beauty since they changed ownership to see if they have things that I wanted to try. Because I tried them way back in the day and I was like, yep, this is makeup. You know what I mean? Other than that, it was pretty nondescript and underwhelming. But I have seen some really pretty textures online. I feel like they're on the right track. So maybe Make Beauty. Oop, my necklace is backwards. Don't be rude. I hope this was fun for you guys. I enjoyed it. And also I became aware of some things that I didn't know existed. And also I got to kind of square away my thoughts on some stuff. Is that blended? Is that blended? The world may never know. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.